Yeah. Okay, bye. Oh, hey there, Maturish. How are you? Just checking the volume and everything while we wait a few minutes and get a couple of other people in here. Can you hear me okay? Oh, it's kind of echoey. Is this a little better? Trying to see. This could be the volume on my PC. Who knows? Okay, well, we'll work with it. How about that? I'm doing very well today. Thought I'd just come on here and chit chat a little bit about fast foods. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes before we actually get started here. Before I actually get started here, see if we get a couple of other people chiming in on this chat. Oh my God, how did you cook the gizzards yourself? Or did you buy the gizzards somewhere? Oh, Popeyes, LOL. And that's just what we're talking about. Fast food versus cooking at home. Uh-huh. Top of my list. Well, at least if you're going to buy something from Popeyes, you pick something good. Their gizzards are good. I have nothing against fast food per se. Well, you know what? I'm going to get started anyway. And as people hop on, they can jump in and chime in the conversation. Oh, you're not going to cook any little ugly gizzards, but you sure will eat them. You sound like people who won't cook chitterlings. Now, I don't eat them anymore. Notice I said anymore, but there was a time I'd eat them, but I'd had to cook them before I ate them, and that meant cleaning them. So I just wanted to come on and chit chat a little bit about fast food. I think how you don't bother with them anymore either. Me either. I don't bother with chitlins anymore either. Health wise and the time it takes for just a little bit of something, no, thank you. I don't think it's worth it anymore. But I think that most chefs are opinionated, especially when it comes to fast foods, because we do cook a lot. And it's not just fast food, sometimes it's restaurants. But I'm not exactly sure if this is a pet peeve of mine or not, but it's something that I am very strongly opinionated about. And that's, does fast food make us sick or is it something else? I personally don't think the actual fast food is what makes us sick. I think it's the handling of the food. I think it's uh, maybe people that are working in the fast food and some restaurants that may have colds. And you know what, everyone out there, I have nothing against fast foods. I have nothing against the employees that work there. I've got family members, friends, and they're great. But the truth of the matter is, oh yes, salad bars and also smorgasbord. Those two, all you can eat. Everybody and their mama is going up there getting food, and they sometimes use the utensils correctly, sometimes they don't. I've seen people waste something on the side of containers, pick it up with their hand, and toss it back in. Now tell me, where have their hands been? I don't know them. I don't know if they're clean, if they're dirty, if they're nasty, if they're stanky. I have no clue. But I sure don't want to find out in the wrong way. I think sometimes those are the most disgustingest places you can eat in because you just don't know. And another thing, people, they're breathing on it, they're coughing on it, they're sneezing on it. It's just disgusting. And I think that's where the sickness comes in at. It's not necessarily the food. I love McDonald's just like the next person, but I probably only eat there once a year because when I go there, I think of all the things that could have happened to my food when it was being prepared. And I don't want to know either. And I don't want them touching my food either. And that's why I'm not crazy about smorgasbords and salad bars. I've been in the salad bar, and that's another thing. You really don't know how long that food has sat out, or did the employee take it back there and do something? You have disgruntled employees and people that come to work, they just don't want to be there that day. And since they don't want to be there that day, it's like, okay, well, you know, don't take it out on my food, that's for sure. You know? I mean, if you go to the bathroom, please wash your hands. If you're cooking in the kitchen and you drop the kitchen towel, get another one. Please don't pick my food up with that. And these are all pet peeves of mine, I guess. Looks like we have someone else on with us. I don't quite see them yet, but it looks like it. But that's my biggest pet peeve. I really I really don't think it's actually the food itself. I think that sometimes the sickness comes because, a lot of things are also just airborne. And at that point, you don't know because the person looks fine, they sound fine, there's no evidence that they're sick, and they have only God knows what. So I'm not sure about all these fast food restaurants, but that's why I like to cook my food at home because if nothing else, I can bring it home from the supermarket. I bring it home from the supermarket and I can wash it off and I can cook it and I know where it's been at least from the time I got it. Now, yes, I understand that the food in the supermarket has been prepared, but guess what? I get to wash it first. I get to wash it first and then I get to cook it to the temperature that I want to cook it at, that I feel is safe. And so I think we have someone else on. Welcome, welcome to the chat. This is Supper Sessions, Chit Chat. We're just chatting about fast foods. Jump in anytime. Glad you're on with us. Just trying to get everybody's take on what they think about getting sick from fast foods and restaurants in general. Not, I shouldn't just say fast foods, just eating out, period. I don't think it comes from the food sometimes. I don't think it comes necessarily from the restaurant sometimes. That's why restaurants, when they're graded and their grade goes down, it's typically something that the employees do think about. If they're not, sometimes it's the food, if they don't have it at the right temperature, they're leaving it out too long, or they don't have it stored properly. There is so much, but some employees actually did that. They didn't store it properly, or it was left out too long, or wasn't cooked right. And yes, I prefer gas over electric too. And it makes a big difference. One thing for sure, when you're cooking with gas, you can cut that heat when you need to. And if you're using an electric stove, then you need to be sure to move that skillet or that pot if you want to get that heat down. Because otherwise, you're going to have some burnt food. And trust me, even as a chef, I burned something. We've all burned something because I turned around and forgot to take that skillet off the heat. So yes, yes, I would prefer to have, and I actually have an electric stove, but that's what just came with my house, and I haven't switched it out. But I would love, love to have a gas stove. It is just nothing like it, and you can char your peppers and things like that as well on top of a gas stove, and it's just better. It's just better. I also like cooking out on my grill. I love the flames because you can do a lot on the grill, just like you can on top of a gas stove as opposed to an electric. There's only one thing that I have not tried yet, actually myself, on my grill, which is a charcoal grill, and that is baking a cake, which I plan to do this summer on my charcoal grill. I do plan to bake a small pound cake out there, and that's what I'd like to try out. But I won't be doing any fast food eating anytime soon. Like I said, I typically do that once or twice a year, and that's about it. I don't. I don't like going out a lot. I do like cooking, but I'm like anyone else. I have my days where I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it at all. No cooking for me. And oh, okay. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I think it was a little echoey in the beginning. I hope that's cleared up and you guys can hear me okay. And I have my cookbook up there, and I have that up there. That's my first edition, which was basically for family and friends. And I've had so many requests for it that I'm actually working on the second one. And oh, good, you can't hear me though. It's still echoey, but it could be just the room I'm in, and that could be it. I have these tall ceilings, and so it just could be the acoustics of the room in general. But I hope to have my second edition out in time for the holidays. Um, so that's my first edition. I've had a lot of people ask me for copies of it, but it was strictly done for family and friends. I signed all those copies and passed them out so that they would always have that first edition. But the second edition will be available. I'm going to make that available online. And like I said, I hope to have that out by the end of the year before the holidays come. I hope it's ready by Christmas too. That is the plan. But it's going to probably be about three times the size of this one. And so that's a lot of editing, a lot of rereading. So I hope I can get it done by then. So Maturish, what else have you gotten into for today? Looks like we're just chatting amongst ourselves for the moment. I hope I can do it. I'm going to try. I'm going to try really, really hard. It's more time consuming than anything. And I may have you reread it for me, go over it to edit it back out, Maturish, before I actually head to the publisher. Because oh, you do. So you've got it everything set up, but you still have to do your voiceover for the video. I've actually good, good. I'm glad. I'll probably send you a rough copy of it, or have you go online and read it from there. One of the two. I've actually got a video that I need to put up, and it's actually on my tablet. And for some reason, once I finish the video putting it on my tablet will not charge. It is down to zero, and I have not gotten that thing to charge all day, and I don't know what's wrong with it. I've tried different cords and everything else. If I hadn't done the video on it, it'd probably be fully charged by now. You know how that goes. And I went out in my garden today, and I've got everything under the sun growing. I even have a first year strawberry plant that's growing that has shoots on it that I'm getting ready to start 3 more plants with, because you know with strawberry plants, if you take the shoots and reroute them, I'm thinking about computers and going to reroute some strawberry roots. But if you push them back down in the soil, they'll keep growing, and you can keep strawberries growing year after year after year. And I can't believe I got so many strawberries growing out there, and I have some tomatoes growing, and I cannot wait to use them. I brought some of my peppers in the other day. Some of my I got cayenne peppers growing out there, and I probably do that tomorrow. I'm gonna probably put up a video. I've got some banana peppers that I might prepare tomorrow. Do a video on that. I don't know. Yes, my strawberry plants are growing, and my tomato plants are growing. My cucumbers are there's thousands of leaves on those. I'm gonna have to get a bigger trestle for my cucumbers. I've got bell peppers out there, I have radishes, lettuce, Swiss chard. I got a lot of stuff out of there. I have actually tried to grow some ginger from a piece of ginger, but it hasn't started yet. I think it can take a while. I love banana peppers too. I don't know. I'm gonna just stuff. I think I might stuff these and fry them. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet, but I might do that tomorrow. Now that I think about it, and yes, they're all in pots. Everything is in pots. I have these big red pots on my deck because one, I'm not getting down on my hands and knees and digging in the dirt. That is not happening. And two, I really, really wanted to control the environment. So I've got organic seeds, organic plants, and organic soil. And you know, everybody. This is a tip if you're growing anything in a pot. And I'm not sure if this is for flowers. I believe it is because we do this in the front of our in our flower bed in the front of the house. But when I go out in the morning and I water my plants, I take cayenne pepper and I make sure that I wet the edge of each pot gets wet. Then I put cayenne pepper on the edge of each pot. Then I sprinkle a little cayenne pepper on the deck, bordering the bottom of the plant. And do you know the birds? At first, the birds, there was evidence, we all know what the evidence is, that the birds were coming and landing on the rails and all around the plants and stuff. And there was one squirrel that every afternoon would come run through the deck and run around the rail at least. Since I've been putting that cayenne pepper down, there has been no, quote, evidence of birds, and there has been no squirrels out there, and nothing that I have has been disturbed by any little creature features running around out there. So I would suggest anybody that's growing anything, at least in containers, and it might even work in your regular garden if you just sprinkle, and it does not harm the plants. If you just sprinkle some cayenne pepper around, then all the little pesky creatures, the squirrels, the rabbits, things like that, they're not coming around. So I don't have to worry about, or at least I hope, because I've got tomatoes hanging out there, my peppers are hanging out there, my bell peppers are hanging out there, I got strawberries, nothing is being disturbed. Do you have anything growing in pots, George? Flowers, yes, it does work for flowers. And hey, everyone, I see we've got a few more that joined us. Thanks for stopping in. We were talking about fast food and if it makes us sick or not. So we're glad you guys stopped in. And yes, it does work for flowers. Yep, rabbits and squirrels. So I keep hearing people talk about they had a squirrel ate my tomato, or rabbits ate my this, or ate my that, ate my flowers. Get that cayenne pepper. And I get mine, I get just cayenne pepper from the dollar store, so it doesn't have to be expensive and it doesn't have to be fancy or any special kind. And I sprinkle it. Now, one thing you do have to do is when it rains, you have to go back and redo. Because if you don't go back and redo, then it's going to be all washed away. And so that's going to make a big difference. You have to actually go back and sprinkle a little bit more down there. But that's okay. I don't mind doing that if it's going to save my flowers and my plants. You know, we work hard trying to get all this stuff to grow and to stay alive. So we want to make sure that the squirrels and the rabbits and things don't come along and get it. I want to be the one to get it. I want to be the one to cook with it. They're going to take it home to their families. I'm bringing it inside to my families. Yes. And I've got some big, giant slicing tomatoes out there. And I also have some cherry tomatoes out there. So I love my tomatoes. I like to blister them and stewed tomatoes and all kind of tomato sauces and things. So they need to really stay away from my tomato plants. Yes, and I love my garden. This is my first year with container gardens. And I am actually surprised at how well they're growing. I love going out there and tending to it. It is pretty calming experience to go out there and tend to it. So I think I'm going to expand it. The tomatoes are doing great. The slicing tomatoes are really getting really big. I've got a video up showing my garden. Says "Let Us Turn Up the Beat" is the name of that video. You can take a look at that. And it shows the containers that they're in, and I go over everything that I have in each pot. And I actually have all that I named in just 4 pots. Just 4 pots. So anything you can grow on the ground, you can grow in a pot. What I want to get is the long deck containers. I can't think of what you call them right now, but they are long, maybe about, I don't think they're maybe about 4 feet long, maybe about 2 feet tall. Yes, just 4 pots. That's all. That's all. Just 4 pots. In one pot, I have the slicing tomatoes and bell peppers. In another pot, I have Swiss chard, the cayenne peppers, and cucumbers. In another pot, I put popsicle sticks. I got popsicle sticks, and I wrote what I was planting on the popsicle sticks, and wherever I planted it, I stuck the popsicle stick. And now, I mean, I just know because I know what it looks like and I know what I have out there. But in the beginning, when I couldn't see anything and there was seeds, that's how I did it. I just put the popsicle sticks right where I planted, and that way, and now I can still go back out there and I pick my popsicle stick up and see what it is. But everything's coming up now. The strawberry plant is in there with a regular lettuce. But now next year when I do it, I'm going to expand and I'm not going to put as many in each pot because this was my first time doing this and starting this. I only put a few seeds of each. So I'm not going to have a huge harvest. I wanted to see if I could get things to grow and the process of it, and if I was going to even enjoy doing it as much as I enjoy cooking. So I didn't want to go off and create this great big wonderful thing and be like, oh my God. I started with seeds for most of them. The tomatoes came from small plants. The strawberry plant was already a small plant, but it just was leaves, no strawberries or anything, as well as the tomatoes. Cucumbers came from seeds. My cherry tomato was also a plant. My Swiss chard and my Swiss chard and my lettuce were seeds also. My bell pepper was seeds, and my cayenne peppers was seeds. So I had about 50-50. I had a lot of seeds. Now, I'll tell you, I have a piece of ginger that I tried to grow from a piece of ginger, but I don't think I put either the right germination on it or enough. And then I had carrots, and the carrots were from seeds. Those are the only two things that I have out there that have not come up yet. My radishes are doing really well. They were from seeds. And even in that one video, you can see that everything has started to grow. So I'm really happy with the garden. I want to expand it because next year I'm planning on doing some watermelon and cantaloupe. I have got to do watermelon and cantaloupe, but I'm going to need space to do that. So that's what I want the deck. Um, what do you call them? They're like tubs. They're like the regular tubs that you would put things in to store in your house, but they're called deck. I guess they're just deck storage cases. Most of them have a top on it where you can lift the top up or put the top down or even take the top completely off. I really want to get the kind that I can take the top completely off. That way in the winter I can put the top back on it because you can turn your dirt over, add more to it. Not whiskey barrels, but they're long, not round. You would see people maybe poolside. They might have their pool toys in it or something like that, or kid toys. But they're rectangular and they're long. They're hard plastic. Most of them that I see are beige, and they may have a green top on them or something like that. I'm trying to go online and see if I can find some red ones because the pots that I have out there are red, and I would love to have the two long red ones. That would be wonderful. That would be absolutely wonderful because, like I said, I definitely want to grow, and I would like to grow some sweet potatoes. That would be great. I'm going to need depth and length for those things to actually grow. So that's what I've been doing. Is keeping that going, and that's been really interesting. And I can't believe it. My daughter actually came out with me the other day, and she was just amazed. Oh, rosemary! I have rosemary. So I go out there. I have that pork chop video, and I actually went out in the garden on it to grab some rosemary from there. So I use my rosemary all the time. I just go out there and snip me up a few pieces. So next year, I'm going to do a lot of herbs because I love my fresh herbs that'll keep me from running to the store to get them. I can go outside and get them. That was the other thing. I did green onions, but my green onions, they aren't doing too well. That's the one thing I can say did not do too well. And I was really surprised at that. Because when I grew up, we always had green onions growing in the garden. But a couple of little sprigs came up and then they just kind of wilted away. So I don't know. I'm going to have to figure out what I did or did not do. And I could have had them in the pot. I tried to plant things that would need the same amount of water, the same amount of sunlight, the same amount of time in the sun. So I had to do a lot of research on that to figure out companion plants, what I could put with what that would make and help the other one to grow. So I could have put the onions in the wrong container with something else, but next year I think there are some things that are going to be by themselves. Like I would definitely plant my tomatoes each in a container by themselves, and I probably would put I might put two cherry tomatoes together, but one slicing tomato. That slicing tomato has to be about 4, almost 5 feet tall now. I've got I had a small trellis that I put up because I knew it would need some support. I didn't realize it was going to get as tall as it did. So I took another trellis and put it on top of the original one, building it up. And I think I need one more. So it's gotten really tall, and it's it's about. I mean, it's not coming out of the ground. So granted, it's already in a pot that's about 2 feet deep or more. So it started from there, but it's at least my height, and I'm pretty tall, so it's 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 growing. Oh my gosh, this is it's hilarious though because I go out there and I'm like, oh my god, this is really working here, you know. And I mean, I think people have these gardens all the time, but me, I mean, I cook, I don't garden, but I guess now gardening and cooking. Yes, I won't have to go to the store for anything except for um, except for my meats, and so that'd be a really good thing. Yes, yes. Have you tried to grow anything, Maturish, besides flowers? Nothing but flowers? Yeah, yeah. I've got flowers in the front, and I've been trying to, you know, that you can regrow rose bushes. I haven't been 100% successful with that, but I have been what I would consider 50% successful. And I know that sounds crazy. How are you going to be half successful in something? Well, you know, I got flowers for Mother's Day. These are already cut flowers. These are already cut flowers, and they are. I actually germinated them and regrew them and replanted them. But that's a whole nother time and a whole nother video. So I think that this has been a great experience. I enjoy going over fast food, and I thank everybody that stopped by. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys, supper sessions, next time. Maturis, thank you again for moderating for me. You guys have a wonderful evening.